What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on this video. I am Josh and my channel name is Family Food and Barbecue, and today we are doing a tri-tip steak on the pit barrel. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so what we're going to do first is light the pit barrel, and I'll show you what I got going on. This is kind of my go-to charcoal, the B&B lump, all natural charcoal. Really like this. Using some post oak wood chunk. So I got the charcoal basket down in there. Got a piece of that post oak wood down there, and then we're going to go ahead and light the chimney. Then we'll go inside and I'll show you what I got going on with the tri-tip. We'll get that seasoned up and throw it on there. Alright, so got that lit. We'll let this go for about 12 minutes and then we'll go inside and, like I said, get the tri-tip ready and come back out and hang it. So let's go back inside. Alright guys, back inside here. So show you what you have going on here. This is a tri-tip, about a 3 pound tri-tip. That's about the normal size they come in, 2.5, 3 pounds. So what this is a basically it's not symmetrical. It's a crescent shaped, kind of a triangle shaped steak, and this is basically from the bottom sirloin. It's got a real big beefy flavor. It's very lean. So I'll show you when you cut this. It's really important to cut against the grain. So, and the grains change direction. So you can see this right here is going this way. And then on this part of it, the grains run this way. So we're going to want to cut this way on this steak, on this part of it. We're going to want to cut this way on this steak. And I'm going to post a photo here you can take a look at, and it'll show you where exactly at on the cow that steak is. But this is a not a real, from my understanding, not a real easy steak to find around here. This is a in Southern California. They have these in pretty much every butcher shop and grocery store, and real popular, like a Santa Maria style steak. But you know, it is getting more popular here. So I ordered one from the butcher close to my house, and they called me a few days later, and I went and picked it up. So it's not one that they have readily available, and they're pretty popular, so I kind of had to call and order it. So we're gonna. Okay, so here's the picture of where the tri-tip is on the cow. Okay, so what I did last night, I dry brined this overnight, and I used, you know, about a half a teaspoon per pound is what it calls for. So yeah, so I dry brined this overnight, and what I'm gonna do now is I got a mixture right here, and these are equal parts. I got paprika and garlic powder and coarse pepper. So what I'm going to do is kind of use, you can use oil, you don't even really have to use anything. I'm going to use Worcestershire, and I'm going to kind of use that as like a glue, like a base. Just put a little bit of that on there. And then we'll put that rub on. As you can see with this rub, I don't have any salt in there because I dry brined it. That's going to give it plenty of salt flavor, and then also with this Worcestershire sauce, there should be plenty of salt. So, all right, now I'll go ahead and start putting this on, and I'm just going to kind of massage it into the beef. Also want to get the sides of this too, because it's pretty thick. Alright, so we got it all rubbed now. So now we're going to go ahead and put the hook in this and get it ready to be hung. So I put it just a few inches down, and then it's going to hang hang just like that. So, all right, so stay with me, and we're going to let the pit barrel finish heating up, and we're going to dump them the rest of that charcoal in the basket, and we're going to get this thing hung. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and dump these coals. It's been going here for about 12 minutes or so. So, now we're going to go ahead and put the rebar in. This is what the meat's going to hang from. Got my meat thermometer in there. We're going to go ahead and get the lid on. Alright, so I also wanted to point out too that I had the tri-tip basically sitting out at room temperature for about the last hour, and you want that to come up to room temperature. So I did that. And then also we're going to cook this. I'm looking for a final temperature of 135. So about a medium rare right in there. So what I'm going to do when it gets about 115, I'm going to pull it off, and I'm going to raise up that coal basket and put that on top of the grate. And then I'm going to put another grate on top of the rebar, and it's going to be real close to the fire, and we're going to sear the both sides of that tri-tip for several minutes till we get to about 130, and then we'll pull it off, have that carryover temperature, and get that final temperature to be about 135. So, and that's just called a reverse sear. Basically, instead of searing the steak at the beginning, you're going to sear it at the end. So that is the plan. So right now we're going to let this go, and we'll probably let it go for about a half hour before we check on it, and we'll come back and see how it's doing. All right, guys, back outside. The tri-tip's been going for about 45 minutes. We reached an internal temperature of 120. So we went ahead and raised the coal basket. We got our grill grates on, and we're going to go ahead and do our reverse sear. We're just going to do a couple minutes on each side and flip it and keep going, and I'll use my instant read thermometer, and we're looking for an internal temperature of 130, and we're going to call it good. 2 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and flip this. See how beautiful it's looking. Look at that nice sear on there. That is gorgeous looking piece of meat, guys. Like I said, we're wanting to bring this to 130. We're going to let it rest for just a few minutes with hopefully with a final carryover temperature of 135. Should be a nice medium rare. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and pull this thing off, put it on our cutting board, go ahead and tin it, and go inside. Alright guys, thanks for hanging with me. Back inside here, you can see we have this glorious piece of meat here, and we're going to go ahead and cut into it, and we're going to do our best to try to cut this against the grain. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. Check that out. Look how juicy. Yeah, you can tell that's just very, very tender. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this kind of at an angle. Do thin slices here. as you can see, got it all cut up. And yeah, you want to use a cutting board and then like a pan like this, keep all them juices in there. That thing just runs off. So go ahead and take a bite of it. Man, it's got incredible beef flavor. That is amazing. I can see why that's such a popular meat. Very tender. Wow. That is awesome, guys. Try this yourself. Awesome piece of meat. We're going to eat. I'm done talking. This is too good a food to be standing around letting this get cold. I appreciate you watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. And I am out. Have a good night.